Okay, so welcome to the Canvas how-to page. This is for Secondary Math 1. If you're not watching the Secondary Math 1, then you have got the wrong video. But if it is, then keep going. Okay, so this is Canvas, right? Looks like this, something like this for you. The only difference, it probably doesn't have this purple edge, right? As obviously I'm a teacher, so my Canvas would be in teacher mode. So right now I'm sort of in what they call student view, so yours isn't going to have this purple border, but everything else should look exactly the same. For those of us who've never seen Canvas before, there'll be some extra stuff at the end that can help you out. For those of you who have seen Canvas before, I'm going to kind of keep it short so we can discuss the things that are important for this class. So when you log in, you'll go to your courses, right over here on the side, and you'll click on the courses, and they'll say, oh look, Secondary Math 1, there it is. Now notice it says Summer Prep. Yours isn't going to say Summer Prep, but it's going to say Secondary Math 1 or 1 Honors, depending on who you are. Once you click on that, it'll come to this page. It's got all of this stuff on the side. We've got home, announcements, those are very important. Modules are kind of like, well, they're modules, basically. They're the groups, they're basically by chapter, so they're chapters. Assignments, you can go in and look at individual assignments, discussions, that's where we'll have notes and videos. Grades, I will be using the Canvas grades, so those will be accurate, as well as Skyward. People in your class, and then files, which is a ginormous mess, and if you want to look at files you can, but I would just stick to modules. We'll go over those piece by piece in just a sec. Recent activity, notice it says no recent messages, right, because, you know, it's the middle of July for me, and there's obviously nothing going on. But as the year progresses, this will sort of feed like a Facebook feed. So it'll have announcements, it'll have assignments coming up, it'll have the things you need to do. If you email me through Canvas, that's where your answer, it'll list that you have another email, and it'll just kind of scroll through what's happening. This is over here though, the right side, coming up is probably your most valuable resource because it'll show you what assignments are due and what we're doing next week, okay? And then you've also got a calendar option, you can look at it that way, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But that's your home page, okay? So you've got sort of a mini planner, a Facebook feed, and all the stuff you can do. Announcements are where I will post announcements, basically. So if there are huge announcements like you have an upcoming test, or hey, I'm coming back next week, or stuff like that, then I'll put it in there. Or, you know, the homework assignment is wrong on chapter, 1.2.5, so make sure you change it to only 1 through 9 or something like that. That's where you'll see announcements. So make sure you're kind of listening for those. It'll notify you if you have an announcement, though, so you don't need to worry too much about that. Modules, that's where we want to go. Modules is where you'll see all of our chapters. Now there's an introduction one that we're going to be diving into in just a sec, but this is kind of what it looks like. So you've got the whole year in here, not just the part that I'll be gone. Alright, we've got the whole year. Notice it's all broken down. However, notice that everything after Unit 0 has a lock date on it. Right? Well, it should. Sorry about that. The lock date, they'll all be locked for you. When you log onto your Canvas tonight, they will all be locked, trust me. But what that does is it prevents you from going on to Chapter 3 before we get to Chapter 3. But you can look at it. You can say, okay, Chapter 3 is not going to be that long. I better not take my vacation before the Chapter 3 test, right? Instead, I should probably go after Chapter 3. Chapter 1 or Chapter 0, oh, look, that's a really short chapter. Okay, that should be interesting. I better make sure that I'm not absent for that. Okay, on August 30th, that's when the homework's due. Okay, I'm going to plan my life around that. So that's just kind of like a here's where we're going map. You've also got the calendar that you were given today. That is the same thing. So you've got a digital version, you've got a paper version. Okay, let's start into our introduction. So there's a bunch of different types of pages you'll see. There's a demo notes page. So the notes page will have a blank copy of the notes. That's all it'll be. Okay, so most of our stuff is going to be on paper. In fact, all of our stuff is going to be on paper with the exception of the videos, that'll be on Canvas. But nothing's going to be due on Canvas. Nothing is ever going to be required that you log into Canvas. It's going to be a lot of extra copies. That's what I'm going to use for, okay? So the demo notes page is showing you what it would look like if you went to go get another copy of your notes. If you missed a day, or if you missed the day we got the packet, that's where you can go to print one out. If you lost your packet, you can get it from here. If you're studying for an upcoming test and you need a packet, a new one for some reason, you want to do it over again, or if you have a question, okay? I'll always post it here. There'll also be an objective tracker at the top. I had to do them in 2 separate files because one's, landscape and the other one's portrait, right? But whatever. So usually there's 2 things there, and this is kind of what it looks like. I also, in the demo one only, posted this video. Okay, so this video is sitting sort of chicken and egg, multi-universe thing going on here, but that's the video you see here. Okay. Okay, so that's what a demo note page looks like. And you can use it for extra copies. Notice before I actually click this button, when I scroll over here to the next button, it shows me what's next. That's pretty cool, so that you don't have to waste your time. If you wanted to get the demo assignment page next, then you know you shouldn't hit next because this is going to take me to the demo section notes. But yeah, so that's a fun feature. So I click on next, say I did want to go there. Well, then it takes me to a demo section page. This will be under your discussions for a very important reason. Well, first, it holds a video, right? It doesn't make it an assignment. It doesn't make things you have to do. But you can play the video, right? And it's just in Canvas, so you don't have to download it or anything like that. Like, notice I chose a video. Okay, so that's just an example of how it works. I love those videos. I think Dramatic Chipmunk's hilarious. But basically, that's how it looks. Notice it didn't have to pop up in anything else. You could just watch it straight from Canvas, okay? And that's how you... Now, obviously, there'll be more than 6 seconds. There'll be these videos that we do in class that are like 30 minutes to an hour long. But if you are absent, you have any questions, you forgot something, your notes, maybe you were slacking off that day and you forgot to fill out your notes, and you're horribly, horribly confused on homework now, you can go look up here. And the reason it's a discussion is so you can write me a question right then and there, and I know exactly what video you're talking about, okay? You're still welcome to email me. You are welcome to email me through Canvas or through something else, but it's just so much easier for all of us if I know what video you're talking about. So you can say, like, hey, that chipmunk is cute, ha ha ha, so funny. And then you can post right then and there. And not only can I see you, everybody can see you. So I know that sounds a little scary, but if I'm not available, right, remember I'm only checking it 24 hours a day, then you can just post it here. Be like, okay, class, what was the assignment? I totally lost it. Hey, can anyone do number 5? Like, why is number 5 such a tricky question? And that lets me see that you guys are talking to each other as well as talking to me, and you're getting your questions answered. See, that's not cheating, that's getting questions answered. Now, if you're just saying, what's the answer to 1 through 10, and then somebody lists 1 through 10, that's dumb because I can see it and now you're all getting Fs for cheating. But anyways, it's a great tool for all of us to use, okay? That's why it's an open discussion. But again, I will check this at least once a day so your questions will be answered before you have to turn in your stuff. Okie doke. So that's a demo notes section. And again, it's not something you have to do. It's something you can do if you get confused, okay? If you are stuck or you just forgot, or maybe you remember that we did something like this but my notes aren't really complete and now I can't remember why she did that, then go back and look at the video, okay? Alright, cool. Next up we have a demo assignment worksheet. Woohoo! And I'm super, super excited. Okay, cool. So your assignments will be listed. You'll see it up at the top here. Section 1.3.1 homework. Yes, they usually have about three numbers. That'll explain that as we go along. But it's always going to be listed here. And again, this isn't due on Canvas. It's just a copy in case you lose it, okay? So you'll have a reminder of when it's due, or, yeah, it doesn't require submission, but there'll be extra copies of the worksheet below, okay? And it looks kind of like this. It'll always be a PDF, okay? It'll always be in PDF form, or a JPEG, pardon me. Your workbook pages are in a JPEG because it wouldn't let me convert them to PDF for copyright laws. But anyways, it'll always be something you can download, okay? Now, if you want to make sure before you go wasting all your data or having to download something and you have low internet speeds, you want to make sure it's the right one, you can click this button right here. It says Preview Document, and it will show you what exactly you're looking at before you download it. So you can do that. Now, after that, you'd have to download it and print it out to actually do it. Like, I'm not taking things in computer form, but it'll show you which one it is. Now, obviously, this is not from your class, right? It's just a demo assignment. But that's what it would look like, okay? And then you can download it, you can redo it. Again, that's extra copies, so you should have already gotten this in class. I will make copies for everyone, so don't think you have to always print off your homework. But if your dog eats it, or you accidentally spilled your water bottle in your backpack, or something horrible happened, you can always get another copy. And then it'll tell you how many points and when it's due. Okay, so it'll tell you that. Alright, so that's what the homework looks like, extra copies. Next up, we have a demo homework quiz. So your homework quizzes will be posted here, and you can't see it, but I'm using air quotes. Really, they're just for Mr. Walsh to be able to get them real fast. They'll be 5 minutes online. There's a video on how to do them. Or sorry, not online. 5 minutes in class. There's a video on how to do them. And then you're just going to do it on paper. You're going to turn it in. Okay. So again, not done on video. This is just where I'm going to post the video to see how it works. You'll see it later. It'll be all fine and dandy. Really, they're not that big a deal. Okay. Test reminder page. Again, nothing to actually do here, but it just reminds you that you have an upcoming test or quiz or progressive assessment, and it reminds you how you can study for that, what homework is due that you would be wanting to do so that you could study, what sections it's on, what exactly based on A or B day, which day it's on, things like that. And again, it's just a reminder page though. Okay, so those are the basic, those are the basic assignments you will see, right? Those are the basic pages you will see. So we got those here, and I'll show you kind of, again, how they look. So you've got the algebra notes page, right? You've got a section notes, you got a homework assignment, you got a section notes, you got a homework assignment. There's going to be a homework quiz. You know, if we go to Unit 3, there will be a homework quiz on Section 0.2, right? That's what it will be. So everything is here listed for you. I am not a mysterious kind of person. I hate that. I hate pop quizzes. I think there's no point to them. I think you should know what's coming in. I think you should know exactly what's happening in the class and how you can get your A. So that's my half. I've given you what you need to do. Now you just need to go do it, right? So your first assignment is going to be disclosure, and you need to turn that in by August 28th if you are an A day, if you are a B day. If you're an A day, it's due August 25th, right? And it's worth 10 points, right? And there's nothing to actually do, right? Notice it's not even open yet because it's July for me, but if it was open, it would tell you, submit this to Miss K via, the basket. Turn it into the basket. So you don't need to turn it into me. There's nothing to do online, but it just reminds you that you have a homework assignment due on August 30th for 10 points. You should have gotten the worksheet. If you didn't, then there will be a copy here for you, and it'll be opened on August 28th. So that's pretty much how it goes with Canvas. If you want to just look at your assignments, you can head into the assignment category. It is a nightmare of a mess. Actually, well, it's okay. It kind of shows you, it's not as organized. I'm probably going to organize this sometime between now and the start of school, but you don't need to go there. Just go to modules. Discussions, if you wanted to look at a few notes, right, you could look at there. If you want to look at a few notes at the same time, you could look in discussions, right. They're not going to be all open to you until we actually get there, right, so not available until here. But as soon as we pass a note section, you can open it up. And then we go to grades. So that's all of the content. That's extra stuff. Modules, assignments, discussions. That's, I missed a day, I need to catch up. I want to know what's happening later, right? So I need to know this, I need to know that. Then you've got your grade category. Now your grade category will show you, these three things will not be here. I'm not sure why they are now. I believe they're from last year. But it'll show you all the stuff we're doing. So from here to here, it is all very organized. Notice your disclosure, worth 10 points. Your first assignment, worth 10 points. All of these are worth 10 points, except for this one, which should be worth 10 points. The bonus should actually be worth 0. But again, all of this will be cleaned up. I will be entering your scores in here. I'll be entering your scores in here, and you will be able to see what you have in this class. Now, they go by unit, so you can see, okay, I got a 100% on Unit 1, I got a 50% on Unit 2, or Unit 0, that sucked, and then it'll show you what your grade is. If you're wondering what you got, or what you need to get, then you can actually enter a score in yourself, and it'll tell you, this is a what-if score, so it'll tell you, oh, look at that, if I get a 10 out of 10 on this first homework, then I have 100%, oh, cool. Right, so you can play around with this a lot, and you can say, okay, because I always get the question, Miss K, what do I need to get on this test to pass the class? Yeah, go type it in, and you'll see. Like, go type it in, and you'll see that you need, I needed a, 28 out of 31, and I would have gotten 100% or something like that. Well, I wouldn't. I would have gotten like 80%. So you can mess around with this and see what scores you could get, what scores would give you better grades. I will constantly update this every other day. And then I will transport it over to Skyward once a week, okay? So they will match most of the time. So I will update this, but I'm not going to match every single day. So if we had a test, right, and your Canvas says you now have a B+, but your Skyward says you have a C-, then don't panic. If they don't match up within a week, email me, okay? They should match up within a week, okay? I just want to work out of this because it's so much more convenient for me. Okay, so that's great. And yeah, if you have any questions, then let me know. I think you can arrange it by module too. Okay, well, yeah. So you can arrange it by module as well, which is cool. Alrighty, next one is people. We got people. So right now, obviously there's not that many people in this class because it's a summer class. It's just myself and this little test student person I created. But when you go to your your Canvas, it should have me with the role of the teacher, and everybody else in the class the role of the student. And you can see who's in your class. You can see, if you have friends in your class, or you can see if enemies in your class. I don't know why you'd have enemies, but whatever. And then you can create a group. You can create a study group if you want. This page is just for you. I will not be doing anything with the people. Just maybe if you're curious, you can look here. And if you wanted to form a study group, that's why I left it open. Otherwise, it's really kind of a useless page. And then, like I said, files. Files is just kind of a nightmare. So don't ever look at files. It's where I keep everything unorganized, and you don't want to look at stuff unorganized, trust me. So modules is what you want to concern yourself with. Modules keeps everything in order and what you need to do. Okay. Okay, so that's one other thing before we go, before I let you go with the Canvas thing. This is our Canvas page. We got a thing over here, though, calendar. If you've never used the calendar function before, you definitely want to, because it's an awesome calendar. Now notice it opened up in July, because it's July for me. But if I go over to August, right, August, then you can see that I have some things listed here. I have some assignments listed here for me. I can see that my disclosure is due on the 28th, right? If I'm a B-Day person, it's due on the 28th. If I'm a B-Day person, then my first homework assignment is due on the 30th. Notice it's due at 7:40. Yes, I mean like that. I lock the assignments at 7:40, so no, you can't print them out the day of and do them in your other classes, because that's not being respectful to your other teachers. Okay, remember, respect, the whole law thing. So I lock them at 7:40. You can't do them during school. Just not going to happen. I don't care what your situation is. I'm not going to open it back up again. I'll open it back up if you're absent, right? If you need another copy, whoops. If you're absent, something like that, I can open it back up for you. But I'm not. They're all due at 7:40. If you're in first period or 8th period, doesn't matter. Okay, cool. Actually, for this, you should see all of your classes. That's why I highly recommend using your calendar. If you know most of your teachers are Canvas people, because it'll show you all of your classes by due date, and it'll show you all of the things you need to do instead of just the regular ones. You can go by week. You can go by agenda, like it tells you the next things that are due. It's a great little tool to have. If you don't want to use it, that's totally fine. Your choice. I like using it. And then I can take off certain classes. My test student, right, doesn't have any dates, but she does have all these things to do for math, right? If I had a geography course or an English course, I could also click that and be like, ooh, I have disclosure due in math and disclosure due in English. Okay, cool, I got both of those. Check, moving on. Right? So it's a nice little tool if you want to use it. It's kind of like an online planner. I really recommend you get something, though. If you don't have a planner, you're gonna be in a heap of trouble. It's gonna be awful. So please make sure you get a planner, some sort of organizational tool. Otherwise, I will make you use the calendar. If it doesn't seem like you can organize your life, then I'm gonna make you use the calendar here. Okay. With that being said, that is our Canvas course. Now, some of us are a little brand new to Canvas, so I'm going to show you some other things that you might see, especially when it comes to the inbox. But if you know what you're doing with Canvas, or you're in class, if this is the class, then I want you to go ahead and turn it off now. And I want you to start on the next video, okay? So if we're in class, go ahead and turn this off. Otherwise, I will continue in just a moment with some other things about Canvas. Okay, so hopefully you turned it off. If you didn't, please do now. Some other things about Canvas. Dashboard. If you go to Dashboard, and notice it says I'm not authorized, so I'm going to get out of Student View and show you what Dashboard is. Dashboard is where you have all of your stuff. So notice I've got 52 discussions opened up across multiple courses, right? I've got 3 announcements I need to check out. Yours might be slightly different because, again, this is teacher mode, but it's still got the coming up section for all of your classes. It's still got recent feedback is where I've graded you. I will not be using that, but this is where you'll see notes back from your teacher on specific assignments. And it's just a Facebook feed here. So it'll just feed you stuff like, you've got these, and I could click, okay, so what announcements or what discussions are you talking about? Oh, those 3 discussions. Okay, yes, I remember those, right? Or something like that. Click on courses. You'll see all of your different courses. Now, I obviously have a few more than you will, but you'll see all of them there. You should have a Canvas set up for every single one of your classes, but your teachers may not all be using them, so there may be some more important ones than others. Okay. However, our class will be something like this, Secondary Math 1. It'll say year 2017-2018. You click on that, you can go to our page that we just talked about. Then you've got your calendar, which we talked about. Inbox, that's another way to email me. So if you don't have an email, you don't have some way of contacting me, you can at least do it through your Canvas email, okay? You can go here. You can either pull up all your courses or just a specific course, right? If I wanted to look at just Secondary Math 1 Summer Prep, oh, well, no one emailed me, right? Or if I want to look at college math from last year, I've got these 3 people who emailed me. I can also look at messages that are unread, messages I thought were really important and I put a star next to, some sent messages, archived submission content. You don't need to ever use those. But yeah, that's basically it. And then I can start it right there if you were wondering. Then I can click on one and I can read it. It's just like an email. It says, okay, you can add whatever you want. So this is me answering Casey. So Casey sent me an email, said, hello, Miss Kennedy. So Ellie mentioned blah, blah, blah about the PowerPoint, yada, yada. And then I emailed her back. In order to email her back, I clicked this little reply button. Okay, so I clicked it and then I emailed her back. If you don't already have an email going, you can hit this button up here to compose a new message. So this would be a brand new one. When you click that, something like this pops up. I type in the person's name, Casey. Oops. Class is over, so she's no longer in there. So I would type in a person's name, Mrs. Kennedy. I would say Section 5, and then I would say, Miss K, Section 5 is confusing. Can you help me? Blah, 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 or something like that. Or, I was absent for the test and I need some help, or something like that. As long as you put my name there, then you've got an email sent. But if you don't put my name there, it doesn't say anything. You could also click on this little file button and it'll show you all the people currently in the section, so you can look that way. If you wanted to send it to a whole section, you could just send it to College Prep Math. So for some reason, if you're making an announcement, go for it. But, that goes to everybody, so try not to do that. These are another reply button. Reply all in case you have multiple people, and then you can delete them as well. And that's an inbox. And like I said before, this goes directly to my email, so don't think that it'll take longer if you go through Canvas. Either way, whether you want to use a personal email like Gmail that you're just used to using, then you can email me through there. This one goes straight to that email as well. That's jordan.kennedy@canyonsdistrict. If you're going to email me, though, do not use my CDS docs. CDS docs never gets answered, okay? It's always canyonsdistrict.org, okay? I don't check CDS docs. The other things you won't need because they're probably not even on yours anyways. So those are the other little aspects of Canvas, and if you have any other questions on that, you can let me know. Otherwise, you should have enough to use Canvas successfully and be able to stay on track in our course.